Hello, I'm Gil Zilkha. Welcome to my channel, Essential Classical Music, where we look at the best recordings of the standard classical music repertoire. This video is taken out of my larger video on the great conductors and their best recordings. I hope you enjoy it. Let's talk about Walter's contemporary who himself in an interview described himself as more the gruff antithesis to Walter's geniality. That, of course, is Otto Klemperer, another German conductor, another Jewish conductor. And Klemperer really had a renaissance late in life in conducting the Philharmonia and pairing with producer Walter Legge to record virtually everything. It really worked out in terms of getting his style on record and his inimitable way with the German repertoire. He was a little bit gruff, but he was the flip side of that is he was also very grounded, and that's what he gave to the music, and it gave it this unrelenting power that really was hypnotic in a way. And he really brought that to one of his most famous recordings, and that's the Beethoven Eroica. As I've discussed before, some people prefer his mono version of this. I like this stereo version a little better. Of course, it's in better sound, but I actually like the slower tempo. I like the Klemperer treatment. It's the opposite of, for example, Toscanini. It's not just crazy fast, intense. The intensity more comes from the depth and the power and the unrelenting force moving forward that really pulls you in. And then the funeral march is just beautifully done as well. So a great way to get to know Klemperer. Equally, I would say, is his Pastoral Symphony, which he was contrasted with the genial Bruno Walter. Well, sometimes contrasts are not always a clear black and white thing, because the thing about Klemperer is that he had a natural way about him. He was never imposing something on the music. So the way he allows the pastoral to just flow forward, sometimes at very slow tempos, that not everyone will like, it really gives you that transcendental mood that the Pastoral Symphony is supposed to give you. So this is actually my top choice for the work overall, and it's recorded beautifully in the early 60s, or actually, sorry, late 50s with the Philharmonia. So another iconic Klemperer recording. And then finally, we have to, for at least for Beethoven and Klemperer, we have to mention his recording of Fidelio. This is one of those Walter Legge specialties. You get Christa Ludwig and John Vickers as Florestan, but especially Klemperer's way with the music. It's just it brings home the spirituality of the music. For example, the Prisoner's chorus is just gorgeous in this version. You sample that first and you'll buy it immediately. But the whole thing is just very powerful. It's just so great that it all came together in a classic recording like this. Now, like Bruno Walter, Klemperer was also someone who knew Mahler and was a champion of Mahler and did very well in Mahler's music. I'd say of all his symphonies, he's probably most associated with the second, the Resurrection Symphony. He left us three very good versions of that, of which this one is, in my estimation, the most powerful. It's a live performance from the mid-60s, but it's almost as good quality as a studio recording. I really can't tell the difference. It's with the let's see, I think it's the Bavarian Radio Symphony and Chorus. You've also got as soloist, you've got Janet Baker and Heather Harper, so can't go wrong there. And Klemperer just brings that gravitas, that power to it. That really brings home the grandeur of this work. So that's an iconic recording. Another one that Klemperer is very famous for is his Brahms Requiem. This is another Walter Legg special. You've got your Dream Team soloist of Elisabeth Schwarzkopf and Dietrich Fischer-Dieskau, the Philharmonia Chorus and Orchestra, very good sounding recording from the early 60s. And again, you have that gravitas that Klemperer brought, especially in that grave second movement. Bom, 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 bom. You know, and then it increases in intensity very powerfully, and he maintains that grounded pulse that really helps the music. So this is a very powerful experience, a very famous recording. Now, I also want to mention with Klemperer, I have to mention Mozart. Again, Klemperer, we think of Beethoven and the power, but it's also the naturalness of Klemperer, his sense of classical proportion that really helped the music. And that's especially the case in his recording of Mozart's 40th Symphony, the G minor. This is, again, Philharmonia, beautiful sounding. This is the recording from, I think, right around 1956. He did a later one that I think is a little bit more on the slower, trudgy side. This one, I think, worked better. And it's just gorgeous. It just sounds so natural and inevitable. And if you love the Mozart 40th Symphony, which I do, you're going to love this recording. It's also doesn't hurt that it sounds beautiful too. Another one I want to mention for Klemperer now is a recording of Richard Strauss, not a composer that Klemperer is generally associated with, but this particular work, Metamorphosen, that Strauss composed at the end of World War II. It's a very bleak work. It's about 20 minutes or so, and it gets that Klemperer treatment, sort of gruff and unrelenting, and it really works well, I think, with this work. Some might think that it's actually too stark, and it's not, that it doesn't ever relax, it doesn't ever let up. It really brings home that aspect of the music, but I think that's exactly why it works. So that, I think, is another essential Klemperer recording. And then finally, he always did well with choruses. Of course, Walter Legg had something to do with that. He would get him the best singers and choruses available. And that really came together with this recording, the Bach Mass in B minor. This is a work that I think suited Klemperer's temperament very well. That grounded personality, that sense of pulse, the spirituality of the work really comes out, the humanity of it. And then the singing and the playing are incredible, very good sounding quality as well. Even if you're someone who tends towards period instruments, I understand. This will sound a little bit slow and large for your taste, but I think in terms of the spirituality of the work, it really brings that home. Thanks for watching. I want to wish you all a great day and happy listening.